Yeah.
Bruno Esposito is a lot of different things. He's a dedicated father, an instrument maker,
He'll play anything, really. He can play anything, any instrument. He just doesn't do that one-man band.
a pizza maker,
Also, he's like a chef or something. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't eat his food, but a lot of people love it.
I've had it once or twice,
Yeah.
and I got sick one of the times. So
Yeah, it's not that good. But he's good at pizza.
but to most he's known as international touring artist, lone wolf, one-man band. But ultimately to me, he's my friend.
Don't do the voice. Don't do the voice.
And as a fellow struggling musician, a friend is one of the most important things you can have. They're the ones that, those moments that you share creating, just make the moments where you just want to give it all up a bit more bearable. And it's hard to see an end to any of this when you see this genius of a man who can make art out of anything go through these same struggles. And these struggles, they take a toll on you after a while. I've been pursuing music with my band, The Barely Damned, for about 10, 12 years now, and we've gone through more lineup changes than I care to remember, or even remember at this point.
It's not like, dude, you're never around. That's why you...
I got married. I
That's an
know.
excuse.
We're recording right now.
What are you gonna record? What the hell are you recording?
I got a full album about to release.
Something from like that you remember from 20 years ago.
Don't lie, it's hard, man.
You know what I mean?
I almost want to fucking tap out.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
But the purpose of this documentary is not for me to deal with an existential crisis or feed my crewmates to Bruno's ever undying hunger of weaker Street Fighter characters.
What city are we in again? What city? I know we're in China.
We're in Japan.
No, China.
No, this is Japan.
No, it's not.
Ryu's in Japan. He's from Japan.
Shut up. Oh, you got me. Oh, you got me. In life, you gotta be honest, okay? That's good advice from an older man. I've been around.
Oh my
Eddie.
God.
I've been around, Eddie, okay? So don't ever talk back to me.
Oh my God. I didn't even get a hit in.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I need to.
Is it hot in here?
It actually is.
This film serves to be a time capsule, or a portrait of a true artist, a legend whose name might not be on everyone's tongues, but cements itself in the hearts and ears of anyone who comes across it.
First time I saw Bruno with his kick drum and his banjo with the tambourine on the kick drum and his harmonica, and he's singing, and it's like he's filling up this whole room with sound. And
But to truly understand Bruno's brilliance, you first have to understand what a one-man band even does. It's as the name implies, it's a one-man band. And at any one point, both of his feet could be manipulating two different drum pedals, one under the toes and one under the heel. He could be playing guitar or banjo. He could be singing or even playing harmonica.
You know, I'll dream with music sometimes. I keep all my instruments in my room. Any projects, any builds that I have, I put them right in front of my bed. So the first thing, it's the last thing I see when I go to bed, and it's the first thing I see when I wake up, because that's my inspiration.
I met Bruno at Churchill's. It was both of our first one-man band gig. And We didn't know each other. He was on the bill, I was on the bill. It was right before he went on tour with Blowfly. And I came in, he's like, are you Scotchy, you Uncle Scotchy? I go, yeah.
Like you've been cheating, but I really don't want to know.
He goes, you got a kick pedal I can borrow? I go, yeah. So I loaned it to him, and I had moved out of this place, and I was looking to move back in. And I talked to him. I says, you know, where do you live? He goes, South Miami. I'm looking for a place to live. I go, me too. And I go, I got this place, like in the jungle, wood floors. I need a roommate, like tomorrow. And we got along really good. He came over the next day, checked out the floors, gave me the deposit, and he was about to go on tour with Blowfly, so he had some money. And then he moved in with me and known each other ever since.
No, you say checked out the floors. Did he actually just come in?
He was stomping on the floors and making sure that the wooden floors sounded good.
Come on now, baby, take a walk with me. I'll show you places you ain't never seen. I'll hold you down, keep you warm. Just stay with me, sugar, I won't leave you in cold. No, no, don't hold back.
He's a great friend outside of music.
Yeah.
And we've had each other's backs just in the like everyday life kind of thing, and that kind of genuineness is hard to find in the music industry.
He's also a person with, just compassion for people, animals, life in general. We've had just as many discussions about, being parents and being, friends to others.
I met him in Texas one day. Oh, no. I'm sorry. In Tennessee. I met him in Texas first, then Tennessee.
Texas?
Yeah.
Bruno, is it Texas or Tennessee?
When's the first time I met you, Bruno Esposito?
Tennessee?
When did I see you in Texas?
South by Southwest.
Yeah, in Austin, yeah. They have a music festival. He was playing a concert there.
What did you think the first time you saw him live?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I seen better. I seen worse. It's all right. I'm just kidding. It was great.
Busker Fests. We both had played in front of the Olympia Theater, and he was the following act, and I knew who he was. I saw him out, but I hadn't really totally communicated with him, and I was impressed that I think he came after us, and that he had taken the metro rail there because the line got off right there, and it was near his house, and so he was already like a train hopper, I hope he jumped over the turnstiles, to get there or not,
If his back didn't feel bad that day, of course he would have,
It's like trans blues type of stuff from Mississippi, northern Mississippi, high country. That's like the only blues I listen to. R.L. Burnside.
Yeah.
You know.
And I imagine that's what drew.
That's like a one-man band. That gives you that one-man band thing going.
And I imagine that's what drew you to Bruno, because Bruno.
Right. That's that
Bruno's
he likes
very
and Bear.
I honestly can't remember the first time I saw him play. I was probably wasted drunk then, is what that means. But I can say that I've seen Lone Wolf one-man band more than I've ever seen any single other musical act.
Absolutely. Me as well.
I've probably seen him 3 times as many times as you have. It's just unreal the amount of times that I've ever watched him perform on a stage and in different places, and the consistency he brings is admirable. It's that it's going to be hard driving, and that the crowd is going to dance.
Yeah.
And
And also, as a fan, you know there's going to be these little variations.
Oh, yeah. If you know the music as a fan or as a blues musician, like, you can see what he's doing and you really see the brilliance of what he's doing there. And
you almost like see it make like that split the section, like, yeah, I'm going to play it slow this time. You're like, I've never heard you play it slow like that. Like, that's amazing.
I feel like sometimes the music gets out from underneath you, so I don't know how much of a decision it is every time.
Yeah. Like, what is that feeling when you just kind of lock in?
It's Satan.
Satan.
Yeah. It's the devil.
Do you feel like you almost go into a trance?
I guess it's the devil's choice, you know?
Because, like, especially...
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, sometimes I'm sure Bruno's like, well, I'm going to play it this way. I'm going to play it this way. But then sometimes it's literally the spirit of the music. And with blues music, the spirit of the music is the devil. So then the other thing is like this, like the musicianship. In his early days when he would play banjo, even if you were familiar with one-man bands, familiar with banjos, living the life, he was faster than any other banjo player that I've ever seen, that many people have ever seen.
And that's probably where that punk rock kind of inspiration.
Yeah, I think a major country music tabloid of the time declared him the fastest modern banjo player.
Shit. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's like a little hurricane coming at you, right? The drums are going, there's shit going on. He's playing harmonica, and then that voice comes out. What about that voice? I mean, come on.
Shit time, little baby. What times we made. You're ripped of your love like a band-aid.
I've been recording him with him a lot lately. And to hear it isolated, his voice, you're just like, wow, you could do anything. There's like a million people inside of you. What a beautiful voice. Like, that's rare, you know?
You'll find yourself alone. You'll think of me, lady, and I'll be long gone. I'll be long gone. And moved on.
What makes it fun recording with Bruno and writing with Bruno, composing, just making art with Bruno? How's it different with
Anything can happen, and we can do anything, and there's no limit to it. He'll build it. If we want an instrument, like he built a double harp the other day and tuned it into and then we'll run it into amps. Like there's just so many different ways.
So Bruno, what are you making?
Man, this is an alligator dulcimer boat lute.
Where'd you get that wood from? Was that a table leg?
Yeah. It was actually, this was an armrest.
Armrest?
Yeah, the rest of the wood is over there. No, I got some of it over here.
Oh wait, that's the chair that you helped me fucking tear down in that alleyway,
That's
right?
right.
You literally just, some person, hey, come get this chair, and
Yes.
you just tore the wood out of it.
Yes.
When did you start building instruments? I mean, I know you worked at Gold Tone for a while.
Man, I started around, I guess 2000 and, well, I built flutes, man. I built flutes a long time ago, like in the early 2000s. I was building flutes, like shakuhachi flutes.
Where were you building them out of?
And fifes. I would go around, me and Enrique, man, we'd go around and look for bamboo.
Yeah.
And Dominic too, my friend Dominic.
Would you go like out to the Everglades and find this stuff sometimes?
No, we go to people's houses.
Yeah.
Go all the way to the Everglades.
I don't know. You might have gone to the
It's closer
Everglades.
to go to people's houses.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I could build a Telecaster, and I have, but I want to make my own things. It's like music. You want to make up your own sound, so you kind of want to make up your own shape. And I think that's, back to Bruno, he's like real creative with his instrument building, like he just, the fact that he's a folk blues musician and he makes his own instruments. I mean, it's incredible, he must feel like, kind of like how I feel like, man, I could just make whatever instrument I need for the sound that I have in my head, which is kind of cool.
Why the faces? Why are you putting faces in everything?
Huh?
Why are you putting the faces on everything?
I see them in there.
You see them in there?
I started seeing faces and things.
You looked at this wood, you saw alligator.
Yeah, I've always done that. I see faces on the floor. I see faces all over.
You should get that part checked out. But
You
so
know?
what are you doing? You working on the teeth right
Yeah,
now?
working on his teeth. He's at the dentist right now. His teeth all fucked up.
Get that plaque out. Get in there.
No, but yeah, man, he bites too.
Do you get the same kind of peace from building instruments that you do from making music? Would you say they're comparable?
Yeah, in a way, they are. I mean, they both make me feel good. And,
You don't really seem
give me
that
satisfaction, huh?
You don't seem that like pressed to try to sell them. Like you're just kind of collecting them at this point. Do you want to sell them or?
Well, this is for somebody.
This is for somebody.
Yeah.
Did they request the
Pablo.
alligator face?
No, I told him.
All right, get that plaque out of the front. Get that plaque out of the front.
No, that's his thing.
One time, him and I built a metal body resonator guitar in Titusville, Florida, and I had a 12-string neck, and we were down there and we pieced that together, and we invented this. Well, it was mostly Bruno's idea, but he had taken two banjo truss rods and ran them into each other, and then you could move the neck. It just.
Is this the one that you always played on like 12-string banjo
The
jazz
silver
song?
one, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So Bruno worked on that.
We built it.
Oh no shit! I never knew that.
Its name is Lindsay. That's what we call it.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of experimenting, so a lot of times the stuff doesn't work out, but
Sometimes
That's
shit
okay.
don't work out, right?
sometimes it doesn't work out. But that's the fun part is when you do find what works and it's something that you've never seen before or never done before. It's very rewarding. That's why I love it.
His whistling skills are above and beyond anything I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He's like a viola or something. I don't even know how to explain it.
Like one of the tracks, you just recorded a track where he was just walking around the house, you said?
His whistle's the Stradivarius of whistles. Yeah, there's a song that we did called the Wolf Waltz, and he was just whistling through the house, and I had recorded it, and then went and figured out what key it was in, because he was perfectly in tune, and then we just built the whole thing around it. You insert that song now.
between folk music and noise and experimental music. You know, it's the barrier to entry is next to nothing. You know, folk is in its most basic form traditional. It's storytelling. It's passed on. You don't even need an instrument. You can sing a folk song with no instrument. You have your voice, done. Noise, it's kind of the same thing. You could plug your output into your input and create a feedback loop, and there you go. You're playing a noise set. And much like, no, but for real, and much like folk traditions, I think with, you know, and I'm using the word noise as a blanket term, I think that experimental stuff, all of that thing, there's also sort of traditions that are passed on. You know, it has a much later starting point than folk music, but people pass that on. You know, it's like, oh, here's how you play your mixer. Here's how you play the room.
What sets Bruno apart? Because you're one of his champions.
He's persistent. He's always there.
Yeah.
One thing about musicians, it's not how good you are. It's if you're always there.
Yeah.
If you're always there, then you're going to see what's going on around your surroundings, and your music's going to change your surroundings and get influenced, and you're going to keep going and going. And most musicians, they get famous or popular, and they go hide. And those musicians, they can go fuck themselves because they're not involved in the local scenes or in the other musicians. They're like, oh, and they play the same shit for 40 years. Who gives a fuck? Okay. But there you go for your popular musicians. They're completely worthless, most of them.
But there's just something about Bruno that just kind of draws.
Well, I just said he's always there. He's around. If there's something happening that's interesting, he'll be there. But that's the thing about Bruno is, you know, he's and I'm me too. So guess what? Guess who the 2 or 3 knuckleheads are always around? Me, him, and whoever else is doing.
I mean, it's good to have a Bruno. Everybody kind of has a Bruno in their scene, but I mean, it's good that you're doing this because he's very unappreciated. The people that know him love him, but you know, he's not good at the business as far as getting himself out there and marketing and stuff like that. He doesn't want to really work with anybody.
And those were beautiful times, man. You know, because I loved it. One of my favorite things in the world is being on the road alone. You know what I mean? And good company is great too, you know what I mean? But being alone for me is, you know what I mean, on the road, like, there's a freedom that, you know, that just makes me feel good. You know? And then, you know, going from town to town and having new experiences, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, like, you being a father, I mean, you had to have played all these Miami bars more than anybody else. How many times have you played Bar Nancy? How many times have you played Kill Your Idol? How many times have you played even Blackbird? Blackbird, they usually doesn't have shows. You played Blackbird at least 10 fucking times.
I'm kind of like the last minute guy though. Somebody cancels and they
You're the
call me.
last minute guy that everyone still doesn't want to fucking follow because you're just this tidal wave of just power and force. And the number one thing I'm curious about now,
Man, nobody goes to my shows. Nobody goes to my shows.
Miami is full of DJs and dance clubs, you know, and when you think of Miami and music in Miami, you don't think about rock, punk, or blues.
But the places that I play, I can advertise the shit out of the show, man. Which is cool, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do it anyway.
And we all did do it anyways. For 5 years, I ran a folk and blues night at Churchill's Pub, Miami's own little island for misfit toys. And it was only due to the support of people like Rap Bastard doing our sound that gave us legitimacy.
It's in the way that you decide what foods you're going to eat. It's in the way that you decide how fast you cross the street. It's in the way that you decide how fast you cross the bridge. It's in the way that you decide how you define your edge. And every day you can burn your church. And every day you can burn your church. And every day you can burn your church if you want to.
What made Churchill's? Why was it? What about it made it the island for misfit toys? Why do we all love it? Why was it a home for this stuff so well?
When you're a kid growing up, you know, now obviously we're in a different era where cool parents will take their kids to the School of Rock or put them in an after school program where they get to jam with their friends and they kind of learn how to be in a band. But when I grew up, you know, there was no guidebook like, this is how you start a band, this is how you perform. And we needed places like Churchill's so that we could go to and figure it out on ourselves. You know, that's the importance of having venues in the city that you're at, that you can go and play music and learn these things. And Churchill's provided, it was like the dojo for being in a band, you know, like you go there and it's not hard to get a show. You know, you don't have to, some places you have to pay to play, like on the West Coast in California and stuff like that. You know, Churchill's, you just kind of show up and you could probably get on stage that night, you know, if there's not that many bands playing.
Anyone could play. Sometimes you played to two people. It didn't fucking matter. You could do whatever you wanted. And it was great. There was never a no, this music is not allowed here. You know, anyone could play anything.
We couldn't have survived those 5 years at Churchill's without people like Naira, Ian, and Rat, but also people like Bruno. He was my ace in the hole. In those 5 years, we had over 60 events, and he played the second one. Probably the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one. Bruno probably played nights that he didn't even want to play, tributes to artists that he didn't necessarily like. Almost all of our anniversary shows he played, and those nights were just so special. I wouldn't trade them for anything. Sometimes our nights would have a good amount of people there. Other nights would just be me nervously smoking in the back, watching our regular acts like Swamp Rats, W.D. Miller, Victorious Eve, Turtle Grenade, Yankee Roses, my personal favorite, Bora. Limey might not have wanted us, but we weren't going anywhere, because we wanted us. And that kept us going.
My favorite thing about his approach to music is that he does it because he genuinely loves to do it. Like, he loves to play music. He doesn't give a shit, you know, if there's shitty pay, no one shows up. Like, we always had a good time, and that made it all that much more fun for me, because I definitely, you know, didn't approach music that way. I got pretty hardened on the road, and it became a job and a fight, and Bruno always just made it more fun and reminded me of the goodness in music. And yeah, I didn't know I was going to get misty about that, but love you, Bruno.
It's kind of like a wound that for some reason or other you stick your fucking finger in it all the time, even though it hurts, and you keep doing it. And a lot of times I leave my house and just like, oh man, this is going to suck.
Last night I had a gig, I won't say where, but I was doing my thing and just people were doing theirs, you know, and they weren't very engaged. There wasn't even any applause, you know. People are there doing their thing, which is totally respectful, you know. You don't have to be listening to my music the entire time I'm there. I'm not that guy, you know. I'm not gonna get mad if that happens. This dough came out like shit. Say it.
Came out like shit, yeah.
we never played for much money. I mean, one night I think we each made like $75, and I had to hassle my $75, of course. But yeah, we had a lot of good times. One show got canceled because of a hurricane, and we ended up just getting a bottle of rum and playing banjo like pretty much all night long, and it was probably the most I've ever played banjo since then. And he taught me a lot of different cool stuff on the banjo.
Would you say it helps you get out of bed in the morning sometimes?
150% every day. You know, I'll dream with music sometimes.
Kind of thing. I've been doing this shit a long time. You can't even think about it. You can't worry about it. If it happens, it happens. If you're not happy with your craft and your art, just fucking stop. Stop trying. There's too many people, especially in a city like this. It's weird that we're stuck in this city because everyone's like, you should be somewhere else, you'd be doing great. But for our own reasons, we're stuck in Miami. And Miami's a place that I've grown to love in a lot of ways. It's gotten a lot cooler. I've always hated it. I like it now, but there's opportunities for a guy like this here, but it's not where everybody always says that they should be, but maybe it's good that he's here.
The rock stars end up dying musically. They're worthless. They stay there, and they just, you know, because they gotta feed people, all these people's mouths and stuff, because they can't go crazy. They can't do anything because he might start tanking and stop selling records or something like that, and then we're all going to starve to death. No. So he doesn't want that.
Things are always going to change, bro. And there's always going to be people who want to do it for the wrong reasons. You know, as long as you're aware and you know why we do this, it's okay. And try to educate people on that same feeling. You know what I mean? Because it's not about fame. It's not about, you know, it's about therapy, man. And this is what people should, you know, I think researchers should look more into music therapy, because it's you know, I've felt it, I know it, you know what I mean? I take things as they come, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just do my thing, and I've always done it that way, you know? And I'm very lucky that it's gone the way it has, and that I've been able to, you know, make get by on life doing it, you know what I mean? Especially now with the help of Gino, you know what I mean? Which, you know, I could be doing worse, I could be doing better.
Just like the guys that you both have been on, you know, these old guys that never left the state of Mississippi, not get discovered until after their death. Do you see that as part of his future? Do you think there'll be a renaissance of Bruno, a renaissance in 30 years?
I mean, I hope so, but it doesn't really matter. He's doing his thing, and that's it. And if he gets appreciated, he gets appreciated. I mean, it should be. The people that know him love him. He's one of those guys, if you don't like Bruno, you're probably an asshole. And he's just going to do his thing. He's going to be as real as possible. And if there's a market for that, or something catches on like that, you know, it would be like music karma.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, you could just be like one of these, you know, unknown legends that we have found. Like, I mean, not Mississippi Fred McDowell, but you know, like the guy that made the Diddley Bow, that one Florida guy.
Oh, he's my favorite.
What's his name?
Moses Doorman Williams. Yeah.
Lone Wolf could just be a Moses Doorjam Williams to some kid, just like Moses Doorjam Williams was to you.
Sure, man. I mean, I love that, man. I love that. One of the things that keeps me going is inspiring people. You know, I love to teach this. You know what I mean? And
you've
more people need to know this.
Look, you've taught me more than I could actually tell you. There's a reason why to this day, when I see you loading up and setting up your stuff, I will always try and like, no, I'll set up for you. Not just because I've seen you do it 1,000 times, like I'm like, maybe I can still do it by memory, but you've taught me so much. You have this elder statesman type thing that...
the payments start next month. What's so funny?
All right, little vocal cut. Now this will be the start. People say that there's two different days that you die. There's the day that your physical body leaves this world, and then there's the day that the last person who knows your name leaves. So take the time to learn the names and listen to the music of artists such as Uncle Scotchy, Baby Bear Lo-Fi, Soto Gardaki, Mr. E and Emily, Rat Bastard, or maybe even listen to my band. Because once again, Bruno has inspired me to keep going. We have a new album coming out. We even invited Bruno to be a part of the music video for our first single. Because I realize that even if the struggle of finding shows takes me down a bit, I still want to leave these recordings as little time capsule pieces that can eventually be found later on. But honestly, even if you don't listen to any of us, listen to the music of Lone Wolf One Man Band. Don't let that name die.
And he's from the U.S., right? He's from the U.S.?
He was from the U.S.
Next victim!
I see what you're doing.
When the one level's up, one's down.
Fuck, dude.
Next victim! Stop jumping. Stop jumping. Stop.
It's not fair.
Is that enough people?
Put the controller down.
I'm done. Anybody
Oh,
else
you're
wanna
done?
play?
You're done?
Anybody else want to play?
I hate him. I hate him.